Well, good morning everyone. We're back again. It's 9:15 at night. Just got up and come for a walk. They still haven't opened up this deck, so it's a horseshoe shaped walk today, which I suppose is fine. We'll still get our laps in. I'm going to take it easy because my foot's hurting a bit today. Right, what can I tell you? Well, what's happening today? It's just that little bit. Change is on the way. What do I mean by change is on the way? Usually there's like a list of people who are going to go in the bin, and the sat list has become this huge fabled thing of we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know who's going to buddy up with anyone else and head in. Maybe it is on. And so yeah, also we're having a change of superintendent. This also has a bearing because some people like to drip feed information, some people don't give you any information at all. And as soon as we can get our chap out of the camp and onto a boat, then the management will change a little bit, which gives us slightly different flavour. Anyway, so yeah, that's about that. Anyway, a list went up yesterday to telling people, because today we're just coming into the 12th, and a couple of people are going to start decompressing. Now, they're not stored at a very great depth. Now, there is a misconception that we actually live under the sea. We don't. We live under the pressure, hence real men under pressure. And they're not stored very deep. It's like a 36-hour decompression, which is basically they sit around and eat biscuits and drink tea for 36 hours, then they're out. But the next lot are what they call blowing in. That's going into the chamber, and they're going to be there probably tomorrow, but they're not doing an awful lot of work, which is fantastic because I'll have some of that, thank you very much, because after 5 weeks of air diving I think we've earned a break. Anyway, so yep, 2 are going in. That'll be Darren and Aris, and then the next team of 2, which isn't a great sign, will be me and Ali Menzies. So Al's a solid chap, he's fantastic, so we'll have a nice time in there and everything will be all right. But it involves getting my proper head on to kind of check myself into a different phase of work, and you know, pack a few things up and everything, and just generally just switching phase a little bit. It's better actually for me, because it means a maximum of an 8-hour day rather than a 12-hour day, which is fantastic because I don't think I've got 12 hours in me anymore. So yeah, get back on the money and breathe some of that lovely heliox, the famous brown gas, and we'll go from there. But still lots of things to do out here. They were putting in a big clamp yesterday. I didn't dive, and it all got a bit exciting, and there was techniques and chopping off wires with bolt cutters and everything. Real boy's own stuff. But I don't really involve myself in sort of the running around with all of that stuff, because that's somebody else's department. I tend to make sure that my day involves around tea and biscuits, although today I have a strange craving for a cheesecake. So if I can pinch the bits for a cheesecake, we might make a cheesecake later. Delicious lemon cheesecake. Anyway, other news, somebody has pinched a packet of the bacon, which is a bit suspicious, and I'm going to get to the bottom of that. But it's not the end of the world. But really, 5 weeks into the trip out of 12, we're flying along. Everything's going really well. And that's about it, really. So, stick with us, and let's see what today brings. Well, good evening, or good morning, depending on your perspective. After a rather pleasant waddle around the deck this morning and some breakfast, and then the descent into shift change and all the rest of it, there's been some tempers, some torque wrenches, and some pandemonium this evening. They've got this torque wrench. I can probably show you it, actually. Stand by. There it is, sitting in front of that bucket. Bloody great thing with some multiplier thing on it, and this has got to be sent down to torque up some bolts. Anyway, it's got this weird multiplier that has to go on, and it's a pain in the arse, and the 2 divers who were diving before came out of the water all red-faced and cursing and just basically snarling about it. But it's procedural, so we've got to keep using it. In other news, unfortunately our friend Troy has broken his foot and is off the boat. And the only words of comfort I could think for him were that there's probably a few Irishmen that missed the Titanic as well. So we hope he gets better soon and puts his feet up and has a pint for us. What else is going on? Well, let's take a look. As you can see from the two umbilicals, we've got two divers in the water. Today's fearless amphibians is Mr. Carl and Mr. Ricardo, who we're welcoming back to the briny deep after 10 days of being off with supposedly a funny knee.
Ready to come up on it? Stand by the impact.
Oh, stand by the impact. Looks like Mr. Carl has finished. So in a minute, we're going to fling this thing off the seabed
Well, that's not a great response.
and fling down the horrible torque wrench. Anyway, back in the mix. Little flurry of excitement as we recover one tool and sand down the next. Yes, it really is that tedious. This can go on for 8 hours at a time and never gets any more interesting. I've done one crossword and I'm going to fart around with this video, and that'll probably occupy me for the next couple of hours as we slowly work our way through the diving rotor. Should be a couple of people blowing in tomorrow, which might change the dynamics a bit, but yeah, that's as good as it gets, sitting here tending hose. Yeah, I can hear you yawning already. Is these videos ever going to get any more interesting? No, this is what we've got. Occasionally I'll do a recipe and put some spark into it, but there you go. You get what you're given.